You sleep and wake up feeling extremely fatigued, regardless of whether you had a little or a lot of sleep the night before. It is perplexing to wake up feeling exhausted, irritable, and uncomfortable, which can lead to a very unpleasant day. I understand that some individuals may have specific reasons for staying up late and waking up early the following morning. So how can we manage to stay up late, wake up early, yet still avoid feeling fatigued, experiencing headaches, or being irritable? This video aims to address the two issues I just mentioned. Today's video will cover a topic that is of utmost importance to everyone, as it directly pertains to our moods and energy levels each day. It is well known that sleep is crucial for our well-being. Waking up in a lethargic, tired, and irritable state effectively ruins one's day. This issue is not unique to me. I firmly believe it has occurred to many of you, and that numerous individuals encounter this situation regularly. How then can we overcome this problem? In structuring this video, I will divide it into two sections. The first part will consist of what I will refer to as a diagnostic assessment. I will explain why we feel fatigued upon waking, regardless of the amount of sleep we had. The second part, which will involve scientifically based solutions, is particularly relevant to health and thus will be presented with meticulous care. This method must be backed by scientific research and assured evidence, and I am confident in its effectiveness because I have personally experienced its benefits. The second part will focus on how to alleviate the feeling of tiredness upon waking. Without further ado, let us delve into the first section, diagnosing the issue. Why do we wake up feeling tired? To elucidate this phenomenon, we shall explore a more specialized perspective. When I first encountered these concepts, I found them rather challenging to grasp. I fully understand the emotions of an individual facing a new and difficult subject, as they may give up quickly, leading to a loss of educational potential. Thus, I assure you that this segment will be straightforward and engaging, so please stay tuned. Many people lacking knowledge about sleep science may simplistically assume that if we go to bed at 10 p.m. and rise at 6 a.m., we have slept continuously from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. However, this is incorrect. Human beings do not sleep in that manner. We sleep in cycles, each lasting approximately 90 minutes. This means we experience an initial 90-minute sleep segment, followed by another 90-minute segment ad infinitum. Each 90-minute cycle comprises distinct stages of sleep. Now I will analyze these stages in detail to ensure clarity about each phase within a sleep cycle. The first stage of a cycle is the drowsiness phase, during which we lie down and gradually enter sleep. The second stage is the light sleep phase, where we begin to drift off but remain in a relatively shallow stage of sleep, accounting for about 50% of our total sleep duration. The third stage is deep sleep, which constitutes around 10%. The fourth stage encompasses very deep sleep, where nearly all our organs are in a restorative state. Finally, the fifth stage is characterized by REM sleep, during which our eyes rapidly move while our limbs remain still. These 5 stages of sleep are completed to form a single 90-minute cycle. Once this cycle concludes, we transition back to the first stage of drowsiness, repeating the sequence. First, drowsiness. Second, light sleep. Third, deep sleep. Fourth, very deep sleep. And fifth, REM sleep. This cycle continues throughout the night. If we complete approximately 5 cycles, equivalent to 5 times 90 minutes or around 7.5 hours of sleep, we will undoubtedly wake up feeling refreshed and alert. It is likely that many of you are wondering if I am forgetting the main topic of this section, which is the reason why we wake up feeling fatigued. Here is the answer. If we wake up during a phase of deep sleep or very deep sleep, particularly in stage 4, it is almost certain that you will experience a tiresome and irritable day. This is because during stage 4, our bodies are in a state of complete rest. If you suddenly hear an alarm, all the organs in your body must immediately activate, which may result in some parts not being able to re-energize in time. Thus, even if you have slept from 10 p.m. for a full 8 hours, or even 8.5 hours, you may still feel fatigued. From this, we can conclude the following in order to achieve quality sleep. Firstly, a good night's sleep requires sufficient rest, which means we need to experience approximately 5 sleep cycles per night. Secondly, we must awake at the right time. This means making an effort to wake up during the transitional phase between the end of cycle 5 in the beginning of cycle 1. If you manage to wake up during this period, you can be assured that your day will be wonderful and you will not feel fatigued. What happens if we wake up during stage 2? You will feel moderately tired. What if we wake up during stage 3? You will feel a bit more fatigued. Particularly, waking up during stage 4 will lead to significant tiredness. I hope you have read carefully enough to understand the reasons behind why we wake up feeling so fatigued. It is due to waking up during a sleep stage when your body's not ready to do so. We have identified the ideal conditions for perfect sleep. Now let us discuss how to manage our wake-up time. This is part 2, the solution to the problem. Clearly, as suggested by the previous information, if we can determine the time period during which we satisfy both conditions for sleep, the formula to calculate the time to wake up is quite simple. Our wake-up time will equal our bedtime plus 90 minutes multiplied by 5, representing a perfect sleep through 5 cycles plus X, which represents the estimated time taken to transition from lying down to entering stage 1. You may not know exactly your value for X. On average, individuals take about 14 minutes to fall asleep after lying down. Naturally, if you are aware that it takes you up to 30 minutes to fall asleep, you should consider X to be 30. For example, if you go to bed at 10 p.m., the formula is as follows: 10 p.m. plus 90 minutes multiplied by 5 plus 14 minutes, which accounts for the time taken to fall asleep. This results in 5:30 a.m. plus another 14 minutes, meaning that the optimal time for waking up would be 5:44 a.m. The calculation is straightforward, allowing us to identify the perfect time that coincides with the end of stage 5 of the previous cycle and the beginning of stage 1 of the next cycle. Another example, if it is currently 1 a.m. and you must wake up before 6 a.m. the following day to complete your work, note that in this case, I have taken an average of 5 cycles for the perfect sleep. However, you can consider a sleep cycle range from 3 to 6. The minimum should be 3 cycles, and the maximum should be 6 cycles of sleep. Avoid using figures lower than 3 cycles or higher than 6 cycles because, first, sleeping fewer than 3 cycles will certainly leave your body exhausted, regardless of waking at the right transition point. If you sleep fewer than 3 cycles, you will feel extremely fatigued the next day. It is essential to sleep at least from 3 to approximately 6 cycles. Now, if we consider 4 cycles for a sleep period starting at 1 a.m., we find that you would wake up at 5:44 a.m., indicating that you would have slept for 4 hours and 44 minutes to achieve the optimal waking time. At first glance, you may observe that this sleep duration covers only around 3 cycles, amounting to under 5 hours of sleep, which makes it likely that you will feel tired. Currently, scientific evidence demonstrates that the commonly suggested standard of 8 hours of sleep per night is not applicable to everyone. Many individuals may require more than 8 hours, which equates to needing approximately 6 sleep cycles in order to feel revitalized. Conversely, there are numerous individuals who only require about 3 cycles. It means that approximately 4 hours are sufficient for individuals to sleep and feel rejuvenated. It also depends on each person's constitution. However, generally, the common consensus is that around 5 sleep cycles is optimal. It is essential to remember our optimal state, and if possible, one should train oneself to sleep early and wake up following this cycle formula. In circumstances where one finds it necessary to stay up late, it would be advisable to attempt a minimum of 3 sleep cycles, which would still allow for an early awakening without excessive fatigue. We owe gratitude to the research conducted by the authors at WebBlinds. I learned this information while reading an article in the telegraph.co.uk. Overall, this article is quite enlightening. Upon finishing it, I felt as if I had gained significant insight. I immediately applied this knowledge to my daily life. Naturally, there are days when I work until after 1 o'clock in the morning, under considerable stress, yet the following day, I am still able to wake up early. There is also a point I believe many may encounter: waking up at the correct cycle time but choosing to remain in bed and snooze. This behavior may lead to falling back into another sleep cycle, thus extending sleep beyond the intended duration, resulting in waking up feeling fatigued. Therefore, it is crucial to make an effort to rise promptly instead of lingering in bed and accidentally slipping into another cycle. If by chance this results in transitioning into stages 3 or 4, or even just stage 2, the consequence may be significant fatigue. Thus, please remember to aim to wake fully. As our lives become increasingly challenging, with prolonged late nights and insomnia affecting not just ourselves but many others around us, sharing this video with friends could contribute positively to alleviating the issue of waking up feeling exhausted. When fatigue sets in, it does not singularly affect the individual. It influences mood, causing irritability, which can be transmitted to colleagues, spouses, and even children, ultimately disrupting work and affecting everyone involved. Hence, if you could share this video with your friends, it could assist them in mitigating their discomfort upon waking. It is not necessary to share publicly on YouTube. You may also send it privately via Messenger to those you hold dear. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it provides at least some assistance in reducing unpleasant sensations of fatigue upon waking. In the initial days, it may feel unfamiliar, but gradually you will experience significant improvement in well-being and comfort. I look forward to meeting you in the subsequent videos.